abilities as future social entrepreneurs. And we also do volunteerism, whether inside or outside of Globe. Now, one of the things that really is unique about this event is that I can share with you that we have been working with a foundation which is based in Bukidnon in Mindanao. We have been doing science-based reforestation for almost more than 3 or 4 years now. So we started around late 2016. We have partnered with Hinaluban Foundation. Later, I will introduce to you a representative from the foundation. So this foundation is really focused on planting, not just planting, but really integrating science-based reforestation techniques with the use of pioneer species in Bukidnon and Lanao del Sur. And they have been very successful. Why we're doing this is that because we only have less than 1.5% of our primary forest left. Now, while everyone is very happy doing all their endeavors or all their programs at work or in school, it is our responsibility as well, as part of the citizenship team, to remind everyone that we have a responsibility also to our community. So let me introduce you to our representative from the Hinaluban Foundation, Mr. Joey Paso, to talk about more on what we do and how we've been partnering with them through the years. Right? Let's welcome Joey Paso.
Hi guys. So as Rafael said, we're actually going through a nationwide crisis. In the year 1900, you had 74% of the nation that was still forested. In the 70s, that went down to 30%. Today, as he mentioned, we have less than 1.5% of our primary forests. So this is a huge issue, and especially for the indigenous people of Bukidnon, these indigenous communities, because the forest is their home, it's their hospital, it's their school, and so when you cut it down, you remove that from them. But there's hope. We had a sacred compact with the indigenous people a couple of years ago, and we've seen some great results. And of course, we partnered up with Globe for a 5-year reforestation plan. And we've seen a lot of success. We planted over 10,000 trees with Globe, and it is amazing to think that killing fictional characters can actually help save the environment. It just goes to show the power of this partnership. It just goes to show the power of bringing people from various backgrounds who are passionate about solving this problem together. And it also goes to show the power of connectivity. So thank you, Globe, for connecting the dots and bringing us here today. Thank you also to all the gamers for showing up, and let's plant some trees. Thank you very much.
So tomorrow, during the celebrity show match, the beneficiary will be Hinaluban Foundation. So for every character, or for every Baron character that is slain, an equivalent peso amount will be donated directly to the foundation for the planting of trees in Bukidnon. So while we're enjoying the games tomorrow, put in mind that we are actually helping reforest our country and making it a better place and green again. So let me introduce to you one of our campaigns or programs that we have launched. Actually today, we're launching it today at this event. We have partnered with several animators and artists in the Philippines. One of which is, actually the main artist is Harvey Tolibao from HMP Studios. He's been working with Disney in creating characters from X-Men. So this is a campaign that Globe and Hinaluban Foundation are working on to really reach out to the millennials or our target audience a very unique way on how to introduce the concept of reforestation.
Kaibigan ko, ikaw ba ay naliligaw? Di alam kung saan nakarating. Kaibigan at wala kang matuluyan. Sa ulay, walang masisilungan. Ang sagot ng kahapon ay
Alright, thank you. So tomorrow, please remember that every time a champion, a dragon, or a baron gets taken down, donations will go directly to our friendly character, mythological character, ang Kapring si Freddy. So thank you very much, Globe Conquerors Manila, Riot Games, and the Garena for this very great and unique opportunity to be with you and to partner with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roel, and earlier for Joey from the Nilaban Foundation for sharing. I mean, that cartoon, that animation, really, I felt that.
It's a little bit of the anime fan in you as well, the animation there.
But it's more like, Freddy with the sad face and everything, again, spreading awareness, and as well as the talk from Rafael earlier about spreading, environmental awareness, and not only that, they did mention mental health, which is very, very important. So not only throughout the whole world, but also about your inner self,
And one thing that I'd like to let our audience remember is that through our celebrity show match last year, we actually managed to earn a total of 134,000 pesos because of our players. Like we said, for every condition fulfilled on the Rift, we managed to earn this much money for our beneficiary. So hopefully this year, we earn a lot more. I got your eyes on me, Kelsey. But speaking of Kelsey,
oh yes, Siri. So again, they're going to be not only doing what they love, they get to help out as well for the foundation. And I'm sure Kausep is excited to enter the front lines, technically the front lines, to share more about League of Legends and its competitiveness. So let's give him a round of applause, everyone. Kausep in the house. Oh boy, that's what he said. All right. All right. Yes.
I was not told to say something.
He jokes a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm Kausep, and I dress up like a cow, and I come to events like this. And actually, I was here last year for the charity event, and I must say, out of all that we rose, like 90% of it was me. I'm just saying. So, I'm really looking forward to playing again this year and seeing all the people that I saw last year and also working with the charities. I don't know what to say. What do I say now?
Maybe you can say a little about, since you've played in the Philippine server and different regions, maybe you can share with us what your experience was in terms of competitiveness and...
Sure. So the Philippines has been one of the upcoming regions for esports as of lately in League of Legends. The Philippines fan base is spread amongst several games, but right now they're actually one of the largest regions in League of Legends. So we're seeing a lot of events like this charity event that is going on with the Philippines teams. And I think that the Philippines has a lot of potential to be one of the biggest, the actual biggest regions in competition and really show themselves on the stage. But the actual server itself, playing in the Philippines has been quite an experience. They like to laugh a lot. Yeah, and you laugh, yeah. And they like to say to each other that they're mean to each other and stuff. But I think a lot of it's in good spirit and good heart.
One thing that I'm kind of curious about is we all enjoyed the celebrity show match last year. So anything we can expect from you this year? Are we going to be seeing more Master Yi, and are we going to expect some great plays from you in partnership with maybe Empoy?
Yeah, so when it comes to the celebrity show matches season, actually we just had a patch recently in League of Legends which made Master Yi 18% stronger. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing Master Yi, but I kind of figured out that Empoy isn't the greatest at the game. He's trying, bless him. But so I think what we're going to do this year is we're probably going to end up putting him on a character that literally doesn't have to move. Like he just attaches himself to me. And that way, Empoy can take some quality time to go and greet the fans, maybe talk to the enemy team a little bit, maybe get some strategies that way. We can figure out what what they're doing, you know. So, and of course we need him to build 3 blasting ones. I'll make sure he does that. I'm definitely make sure he'll do that.
I guess one last thing is, do you have a message? Because obviously we love to have you once again. It's your second year here at Conquerors Manila. You still have a lot of Filipino fans that support you. So do you have a message to them as well as to our audience right here that have joined us today?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm very, very happy that the Philippines have continued to support me, support them. I never really expected to have as much support from the Philippines because, you know, you just, when you live in like the USA your whole life and then you go somewhere else, right? And then suddenly, thanks to the power of the internet, there's this region that supports you, and then you just support them back. I don't know what I want to say, but I'm very thankful that they let me be a part of their community, even though I'm from somewhere else. And yeah, I mean, it's just they're great people. I really appreciate it.
Aw, thank you very much again, Kasef. And for all, you know, this is your second time here in the Philippines. I was wondering, Articuno, do you have any other questions for Kasef, or would we save that for the Q&A later on?
I think we should definitely save that for the Q&A later on because we'll actually give our audience the opportunity to ask our members right here for Conquerors Manila. So we'll definitely take advantage of that opportunity, I'd say.
All right, thank you very much once again for your wise words, Kasef. All right, let's give him once again a round of applause. All right, now that we have rounded up and have heard from our awesome and special speakers for our event, what is next up on the menu, Articuno?
Well, I was hoping to get dessert, but maybe a little later. Maybe a little later. So, no, what we do have though is we'll be having a Q&A, like I mentioned, with the members here that have worked so hard at making Conquerors Manila a reality. So, if we may, of course, invite them over to join us right here in front. Of course, for our audience, if you guys have any questions, before I make a run for the buffet, I'll be approaching your table for your questions a little later on. So, yeah, why don't we go ahead and invite them over here?
All right, so may I call on once again Sir Jerry Soler, Mr. Rafael Magdor, and Sir Joey Tuason in front, and as well as Kausep as well in front, as we're going to be taking in questions from the audience here. And it's going to be exciting. So how is this going to work? We're going to do kudo.
Well, like I mentioned, how this is going to work is we'll have our friends over here from the various entities that have made Conquerors Manila possible. And if you guys have any questions, Riku will be staying over here in front.
Yes, I will be the designated microphone. I will facilitate, and as well as Articuno over here. Okay, I'll be in the middle, right?
Okay, so once again, the floor is open to your questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and I'll gladly approach your table. This is good exercise for me, I'd say, so let's try to keep on going back and forth here. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? From the media, from our friends here, from the communities that we have that have joined us today here at Conquerors Manila. Let's see, here we go. You are a very familiar face, good sir. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and we would love to hear your question.
Hi, I'm Vincent from the Geeks, and this question is for Kausep. Since last year's celebrity show match, it took around, I think, almost an hour or so. So what would be your prediction for your time, this time, for your celebrity show match?
Well, you know, I kind of control the time of the show match. Like, it's kind of all on me, right? And I was just so moved by that tree anime that I think that we'll try to shoot for another hour this time.
Last one, how many dragons or barons would you be taking down this time?
I plan to do at least 6 normal dragons, maybe 1 elder, and maybe 3 barons.
All right.
It depends though on the enemy team. Like if they get really good this year, then you know it might only be 5. So I'll try, man. I'll try.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? This is a free floor. We are welcoming anybody that wishes to throw out a question here. There we go. Oh, I will come to you, don't worry. I will be your knight in shining armor with the working microphone.
Hello. Hi, this is for Sir Jerry. Actually, this is for Inquirer that. I'd just like to ask, I know Conquerors Manila hasn't really started yet. It's going to be tomorrow, but we're already thinking of a lot things that could happen next year. Do you have any comment or hints of what's
I'm
in store for
itching,
next
but
year?
I think I can't say. But definitely there's going to be a lot of new stuff next year. It's not totally a secret, but obviously there are a lot of developments with the partners that we have, new titles coming out, right? I mean, there was a big announcement in Singapore just a week ago. So definitely what we want to do is, I think maybe to expound a little bit of what we did this year versus last year, right? Last year was really very competition focused, which is good, right? But I guess every year we're trying to put a little bit of a spin to it. So we wanted to make it a little bit more of a community-focused type of an execution this year. But definitely because there's news of, new titles and all of that, extending essentially the league IP, right? We're starting to have some, games around TFT. So we'll definitely expand that, right? And if we keep talking about and be very consistent about community building, that we feel is really what's going to help grow and expand the community.
Thank you so much. Second question for the foundation. It was mentioned earlier that last year we were able to raise like 130,000 plus for the foundation. Can you kind of paint a picture for us how that gets converted into your program? How does it go?
Yeah, there's a point system, right? Certain dragons.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant, what does that look like in the forest? Like how many trees is that? How does it go?
Well, for right now, we planted over 10,000 trees with Globe, and that was like the first set. And I think from last year's game, we planted around 1,540 from the games itself. Yeah. And later on in our website, you'll be able to see the actual trees. We're going to include a system where you can actually track the trees. And so when you donate, you can actually name the tree, you can gift it to somebody. So that's in the works right now. But yeah, we're really excited about this event.
I cannot wait to name my tree Yasuo. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see.
Actually, I have a question. But the man with the yellow shirt first.
Let's go ahead
before
and
everything else.
let's get the question over here. Okay. Hello. Okay, we got 2 microphones now.
Cute.
Good evening, good sir.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Alar from eLifestyle Manila. You were mentioning about the corporate social responsibility of the tree planting in Maguindanao, which is you'll be doing for the next 5 years. What is the target percentage or the number of trees you'd like to grow into? And what's the progress now? I think you're halfway, 5 years, right? So what's the progress now, and what are you looking in the next half of the 5 years?
So I think we're already halfway to our commitment. This partnership actually started way back around latter part of 2016. At the start of that partnership, we already engaged in several fundraising and sourcing of different amounts to do reforestation in Ilan and now elsewhere. We're already halfway through, even more than 50% already to our target. I think we've targeted around donating 30 million pesos, raising 30 million pesos in the span of 5 years. So it's 6 million every year, and that 6 million contributes to around 60,000 trees per year. So 60 hectares or less per year. And we're very happy because every year there are lots of surprises and there are lots of unique sources of these fundings. For example, this year we were able to raise around 2 million from Globe Rewards alone from the points expiry. 2 years ago we were able to raise around 10 million from the paper bills converted into a digital platform, e-bills. And this year we're looking at, and the latter part of the year, we're continuing to look for other funding as well and making it sustainable. So I think the progress is really doing great, and we're happy that opportunities such as this gives us a lot of creativity and uniqueness in terms of reaching out to our target audience. So the video that we showed earlier is actually a manifestation that we're ready to take on the next challenge of really reaching out to our target audience and how to encourage them to be part of this advocacy.
Yeah, just a follow. Actually, I wrote that article in 2016, so I remember. How was the effect in the local community? Was there resistance? Was there acceptance right away, or for the last 2.5 years or almost 3 years? Was there a change in the community that you brought into them aside from the tree planting that helps them, become more technology centric or something?
Yeah, actually the tree planting really happens at the end. In order to ensure that the community is okay, you have to ensure that there's food security first. So that's the main things, food security first, and then you also equip them with the technologies to be able to create these sustainable products. We have adlai, we have coffee. Actually, we have a shortage right now for adlai because we had a drought last year, so that kind of hit us hard. But and we're also kind of sold out because there's a huge demand for it in Manila. It's kind of like a substitute for rice, and so all these products have been brought to market by us, so that's kind of our role. And we've seen a lot of growth because every time you buy a bag of coffee, a tree is planted in your name. So those are the kind of things that we do with the foundation. And since we have a sacred compact with them, it's a very special relationship. They had to do the whole ceremony to make sure that they're okay with it. And so far they have a really good response, and yeah, it's looking good.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Do we have any other questions from our members of the audience? Let's see. I guess while we are checking it out, Riku, I believe you have a question as well.
Yes, I'll stand here.
Okay.
Because in relation to the Naluban Foundation, it's more in-game impact. Would there be a possibility for campaigns if, example, I buy a skin or a number of skins have been reached and we get to plant a tree somewhere? I was just curious if that would be a possibility.
I mean, why not? The more trees, the merrier.
Yeah, actually, we've introduced that concept already, but it's still in the discussion phase. And we can see Capri is only one of the many characters that we're introducing. He's the leader of the pack, but we have Kip the Tikbala, you have Enzo Encanto, you have Erica Encantada, and then Debbie and Diwata and Tatang Nanuno sa Bulso. So each one will have their own story and telling people that they've actually left the forest because of massive deforestation and they've lost their way here in Metro Manila or Metro Cebu or Metro Davao, trying to fit in because of massive deforestation. So we're trying to find our creative ways to explain the concern, the pressing concern on deforestation in the Philippines. So hoping that maybe in the future we can have that kind of collaboration, maybe more skins and then more trees planted. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Riku, for that question. How about from any other members of our audience? Do we have any other questions that you'd like to throw out here to our friends from these different entities that have made Conquerors Manila possible? Let's see. Thank you, good sir.
On the e-game side of things, how far would we'll go into, aside from this event, how long and what other aspects in terms of youth are you going to target in helping out, getting them away from drugs, getting them away from all the other stuff?
Sure. I think, and thanks for that question. I think that's very relevant because the quick answer is that this is not just a short-term thing for us. We're really investing in it, right? I think the reason why we have like for example, why we invested in the team, because we believe that there is professionalism and legitimacy around esports. It's just like any other sport. We talked about, the traits that you got to have, the responsibility, all of that, balancing, let's say, your personal life with your professional life, your schooling, and all of that. That's one. The other is, we touched a little bit about grassroots, right? There's a lot of initiatives that we're doing now in flight, hopefully by maybe early next year, certain sectors that we're working with. One is the education sector, in terms of how we can really make gaming as a whole, not just esports, not just the not just the athlete side of it. Because as you said, it's a community, right? There's a whole ecosystem around it. There are people around here who make a living out of it, right? And a responsible and respectable living, right? And it's really something that's very sustainable, and we believe in that. And because it's a passion, essentially, of Filipinos nowadays. I mean, from what we know, it's about a third of our population is engaged in gaming. And that taboo, I guess I use that word, is something that always pops up, is that, hey, you might be wasting your time on video games. When in reality, it's no different than, I always use this analogy on my own because I used to play football, soccer in school. And it was the same thing, really. As soon as my grades would start to dip, my parents would say, stop playing football. Focus on it. It's no different, I think. It's as simple as that. So it's the same discipline. And that's why we're working with those sectors. Even the corporate sector right now, there are a lot of people who want to get into how they can support esports in a very responsible manner, in a way that it creates a platform that's sustainable, right? So yeah, we're in this for the long haul. This is not really just a temporary thing for us. And like what we said earlier, even the league that we're trying to do, we want to extend that league, PPGL, that we have, and extend its reach to the region so that we can get really some grassroots programs happening and educate in that front as well, right? So it's more than just playing a game, really. It's more than that. It's really it's a whole ecosystem that people really can flourish and really grow responsibly. So we want to be a part of that.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess I personally have one last question before we wrap up this session. Oh, we have a question? Okay. So, yeah, I have a question, if you don't mind, Sir Jerry. This is a little bit more esports general, if you don't mind, not specific to Conquerors Manila. One thing that I'm really excited about is for this coming November, we have the SEA Games. And I think, for me personally as a gamer, I have a lot of players that I look forward to seeing, especially coming from Liab. So do you have any comment or any message to kind of get us rallied up for that?
Yeah. It's as simple as that: support your team, right? I mean, Liab is actually, by virtue of our AOV team and StarCraft, we were fortunate that we were able to put a good team together to represent us, the Philippines. Yeah, so it's now a medal sport. I mean, does it get more legit than that, right? And I guess it really just shows that all the hard work that they've put in as a team and the support system that we've put is paying off. So, I mean, it's national pride, right? So we're definitely going to be supporting that. Win or lose, right? It doesn't matter because that's really it. Like I said, we're there in the long haul, because the support needs to be there. So we really gotta back them up, and not just the AOV team, not just the StarCraft team, all the teams that are representing us. Because bottom line, it's really national pride. It's no different than supporting our basketball team or our track team or our boxing team and all of that. So it's as simple as that. I mean, let's all rally behind our team, and even after the SEA Games, the support system has to be there across all the sports, including esports.
Thank you very much. And I think I'd speak for all of us. We're definitely looking forward to supporting the Philippine team. So we'd like to thank everybody for the questions that were thrown out here. But before we let you guys settle, I think maybe a photo opportunity perhaps with our gentleman right here in front. So if